This was a big one, wasn't it? This was a big decision. An amazing decision, one that we're very happy about. This morning, the Supreme Court has delivered a monumental victory for the Constitution, the separation of powers, and the rule of law. In striking down the excessive use of nationwide injunctions to interfere with the normal functioning of the executive branch, the Supreme Court has stopped the presidency itself. That's what they've done. And really, it's been an amazing period of time this last hour. There are people elated all over the country. I've seen such happiness and spirit. Sometimes you don't see that, but this case is
people elated all over the country.
A historic mandate, but in recent months we've seen a handful of radical left judges effectively try to overrule the rightful powers of the president to stop the American people from getting the policies that they voted for in record numbers. It was a grave threat to democracy, frankly, and instead of merely ruling on the immediate cases before them, these judges have attempted to dictate the law for the entire nation. In practice, this meant that if any one of the nearly 700 federal judges disagreed with the policy of a duly elected president of the United States, he or she could block that policy from going into effect or at least delay it for many years.
What do y'all think about that? Like, do y'all think that that's fair that, you know, any of the 700 federal elected judges can make that decision to say, hey, I don't agree with that, so we're going to stop that? I feel like it's so much stuff that's happening in America, and it's solely because everybody got an opinion, man. Like, I'm not saying that the president has to say the end all be all, but like, one person out of 700, not including the president or his group of, delegated officials, can make that executive decision and just say, nah, we're going to stop that. And if you have been in the court system in any way, shape, or form, man, you know, this shit don't stop. Like, it's an ongoing cycle of just delays and processing, slow and nonsense. And then by the time you actually get into it, like, I feel like the court system is just created for failure. Like, I swear, it's just like, it's a lost cause. Like, unfortunately, the court system can put so much delays on you that you just give up. And I mean, I completely understand why Trump is happy that the Supreme Court jumped in and make that executive decision for them. But let's jump back in here, man, and see what they say.
Tied up in the court system. This was a colossal abuse of power which never occurred in American history prior to recent decades. And we've been hit with more nationwide injunctions than were issued in the entire 20th century together. Think of it, more than the entire 20th century, me. I'm grateful to the Supreme Court for stepping in and solving this very, very big and complex problem, and they've made it very simple. I want to thank Justice Barrett, who wrote the opinion brilliantly, as well as Chief Justice Roberts, and Justices Alito, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Thomas. Great people. Thanks for this decision, and thanks to this decision, we can now promptly file to proceed with numerous policies that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis. And some of the cases we're talking about would be ending birthright citizenship, which now comes to the fore. That was meant for the babies of slaves. It wasn't meant for people trying to scam the system and come into the country on a vacation. This was, in fact, it was the same date, the exact same date, the end of the Civil War. It was meant for the babies of slaves, and it's so clean and so obvious. But
that's actually really, really real. I wonder how many of y'all actually know that. Like, birthright citizenship was not created for infinite people to come here and have a baby and now your baby is an American. It's actually pretty crazy. Like, I know as a military child, we was always told that if you were born in Germany, born in Hawaii, I mean, well, not Hawaii, that's America, but born in Germany, born in Korea or wherever else, Japan, that you would have birthright citizenship in both of those countries that you were originally from. Well, your parents were originally from, plus where you were born at. But like, how do y'all feel about that? I don't believe it's fair. I'm not gonna hold you. I think it's really sad that, let's just say, you can be an illegal immigrant, but your kids can be born here, so you are American citizen. Like, how does that even make logical sense? Now, clearly, you know, Trump and the team are jumping into it and making it all change. Shout out to the Supreme Court. of America. But like, do y'all feel like that's fair? Because honestly, I don't know, man. I don't personally feel like that's fair. Because every other country you can't freaking do that. So how is it fair? Like President Trump just said, oh, quote unquote, you take a vacation, spend 2 months here or whatever it is, because you're not supposed to fly that close to birth. But let's say you spend a month here and then you give birth here. Like what? First of all, just even to think overly logical about this, it's cheaper in so many other countries. But that citizenship, as you saw when Trump put that what is it called? Not the big gold bill, but whatever it's called. When he made the citizenship where you have to buy now and it's $1 million in XYZ, he sold all of them Jones. So it's actually a valuable choice or a valuable asset to be born in America to have dual citizenship. So I don't believe having a baby here just should give you the availability or the right to say, hey, my baby has dual citizenship in America and now they're American citizens, even though I am not as the parent. I think that's just messed up. But anyways, that's just my 2 cents. Let's get back into it.
This lets us go there and finally win that case, because hundreds of thousands of people are pouring into our country under birthright citizenship, and
That's
it
a
wasn't
fact.
meant for that reason. It was meant for the babies of slaves. So thanks to this decision, we can now properly file to proceed with these numerous policies and those that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis, including birthright citizenship, ending sanctuary city funding, suspending refugee resettlement, freezing unnecessary funding, stopping federal taxpayers from paying for transgender surgeries, and numerous other priorities of the American people. We have so many of them. I have a whole list. I'm not going to bore you, and I'm going to have Pam get up and say a few words, but there's really, she can talk as long as she wants, because this is a very important decision. This is a decision that covers a tremendous amount of territory. But I want to just thank again the Supreme Court for this ruling. It's a giant. It's a giant. And they should be very proud, and our country should be very proud of the Supreme Court today.
All right, man. So I appreciate y'all for checking this out. What y'all think about this, man, about the birthright citizenship? I will say I do not support my tax dollars going to you to get a sex change in any way, shape, or form, or whatever the hell you desire. Like, we ain't doing that. Like, I don't think that's fair either. But yeah, man, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. And I appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. And as usual, be you, be true. Let the universe do the rest. Have a good one.